What's up, guys? Frankietrades here, bringing you another weekly stock watch list. I know I haven't done any of these for you guys in a while, so I'm looking to bring these back every Sunday or Monday. Hopefully not a Monday since the market's usually open on those days, but since it's Memorial Day weekend, looking forward to bringing you guys these more on Sundays now. So trying to get back in the groove of things with besides just uploading the live trades, bringing you guys the weekly watches that I did for you guys every Sunday. So going to try and upload those more for you guys going forward. But this week is looking insane, guys. As far as earnings go, we don't have many stocks that we trade on our watch list that are in the way, which is awesome. And the other biggest thing is that we just have a lot of setups to go over. So before we dive deep into the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I would really appreciate it. But without much more being said, let's go ahead and go deep into the watch list. So first things first is with NQ, right? You guys know I like to talk about my indexes. And the first thing is I'm watching this 18,930 level. Now, obviously, with it being Monday, Memorial Day weekend, the markets are, futures is already open. Futures are already moving. So the level that I was watching on NQ was the 18,930 double top that we had currently on the 1 hour time frame. We don't have to be on the bigger time frames just because we're at all-time highs. So really don't have to look at the bigger picture just yet. We just have to look at the smaller picture. So with it being the 1 hour, 30 minute, 50 minute, those would be the important time frame. So as far as NQ goes, I'm watching a hold above this 18,930 level now. And then after that, I'm looking to see if we get any momentum going into tomorrow at the 19,000 level and if we can hold anything above there. That's the plan with NQ. And then as far as ES goes, I have written down that we were watching 53.50 to the upside and then 53.68 on NQ. 53.50, because you can see that was the area we consolidated here. I can draw a line right here for you guys and then draw it from my end, but you guys can see what kind of line I was talking about here at the 53.50 level before we broke out, retested it, made an all-time high, and then we actually sold all the way back down, all the way below 5,300. So as far as the upside goes, again, I'm watching anything above a hold of 53.50 and then an all-time high at the 53.68 for ES. And then as far as the downside goes, I actually do have some downside planned for ES. It would be anything below 5,300 and then 5,272. As you guys can see, this is the level that we had held previously. But yeah, that is about it for ES and NQ. Don't see any trend lines or anything that can get in the way as far as the levels that I am watching. So yeah. And then as far as the main watches goes, like I said, I'll try to get through this pretty quickly for you guys because I know most of you guys are on a time crunch, but just because we have so much going on. Coin is actually going to be my number one setup here. It has the cleanest setup that I actually happen to like. The only problem with Coin is that crypto is actually currently pumping. Bitcoin's currently at 70,000, so it'll be pretty hard to see if this actually holds up at this level that I'm currently watching. Coin, I'm watching at 239. After 239, I'm watching 240 for any hold above that, and then after that, my target would be 243 on Coin. So, but like I said, with crypto pumping over the weekend and even today, I doubt we actually get this set up just because Coin moves relatively closely with the crypto. So, I doubt we get that set up. So, Coin, definitely going to be number one watch if this happens to hold up for some reason into tomorrow. Next up is Meta. Meta is another stock part of my watch list. You can see on the 4 hour here with the indicator that we include with the subscription with stock hours. We are currently breaking the trend line. We broke at 470, and on Friday we happened to just keep pushing all day on Friday. Granted, the market happened to push a little, but Meta happened to be on one of those stocks that were really strong. So as far as Meta goes, I am watching the 480 level as another potential area to play it again at 480, and then after 480, my next level would be 482.50, which is where the gap resumes, and then the gap ends at 484.58. So around almost under a little $3 gap there on Meta. So as far as Meta goes, it's a pretty simple setup, not too much going on, but I am watching it at those few levels right there. So yeah, that is it for Meta. Next up is NVIDIA. NVIDIA, of course, everyone's favorite stock, especially with it splitting recently. Unfortunately, that is the saddest news that we have on this stock. But if I put this on the 4 hour, I believe we do have this trend line here that happens to match up, right? Oh, this is on the 30 minute, sorry, on my notes. Yeah, so if I put this on the 30 minute, you can see that we're actually expecting a uptrend from the bottom side. Currently far away from anything to even getting close to that, but just for your guys' reference, you guys can put that on your chart if you want for any future reason if we happen to come back down. But with NVIDIA, I am watching the 1070 level. After 1070, I am watching 1075 and then 1080. So no trend lines that I see that can get in the way at this point. We're just playing all-time highs on NVIDIA and playing the momentum along with that. Contracts are really expensive, so for a lot of people, it's hard for people to actually play the stock. If you know how to play out the money contract, it's actually not too difficult, but for a majority of people, I'd recommend staying away from NVIDIA and just waiting for this to split till it's actually affordable again. So that's NVIDIA. And then last but not least, as far as the main watch list goes, is Tesla. Now, Tesla on the 1 hour or the 4 hour, you can see that we have not had a single close below 173. Granted, we've been in this area before. This whole area for Tesla has been a big congestion zone, really not too many clean plays. But if you're able to identify the consolidation areas or any trendline breaks that you could play with Tesla into some sort of level, those levels have been the ones that take advantage on Tesla. So as far as Tesla goes, I don't have anything towards the upside. It pushed the opposite way where we wanted it on Friday, unfortunately. But as a chart as a whole that we're looking at in stock hours for this week will be the 173 area. After 173, my next target or the next area I would be looking at is 171.43. After that would be the 170 level if we happen to pick up some weakness on Tesla. So that is the whole game plan with Tesla. And then as far as the side watches goes, I'll go over that pretty quickly just so I don't waste any more time for you guys, is ARM. So ARM, we currently have a double top at the 117.36 area. So my entry on that would probably be 117, maybe a little few cents before that. ARM is a little tricky because it's part of the chip stocks, but as far as ARM goes, I want to be a little bit careful because the stock does happen to fake out, at least the times that I've watched it. So I want to be really careful with where I take an entry on this. So my entry would probably be 117 to see if any momentum comes in there. If not, then I'll probably just wait for the 119 area, which is the high right here. And then after 119, my target would be 120. And it is currently in a wedge, as you guys can see on the chart. These wedge breaks or these wedge setups are my favorite, as you guys know. So this is something I'll be really looking heavily into for this week. Next up is Netflix. Netflix is on everyone's radar recently just because it is 50 points away from the all-time high, and when Netflix gets to those all-time highs, Netflix does tend to move a bit. I happen to signal this to the chat, actually. Yes, I actually am signaling every now and then now in the stock hours chat. So for anybody who is new to my channel or who's been part of my channel in stock hours, I am looking to signal some of these plays, some of the trades that you guys see with the live trades. Some of those I happen to signal now. So with Netflix, happened to signal that one. That was around 30 to 40% on Friday. Ended up catching it from 650 all the way to 651, and that was around a 30 to 40% play just because of how those contracts broke and how the premium flipped on those. So really excited for that. So but as far as Netflix goes, it happened to consolidate at the 652 area after we ended up selling at the 651 area. So I'm not looking for too much here. I'm just looking to play the high at 652 on Netflix and then see if that gets any momentum into the 655 area right there. So that is it for Netflix. And then as far as SMCI goes, SMCI actually has a pretty decent setup on the bigger time frame. If we go to the 4 hour, you can see that we actually have a trend line from the bottom side that we have been respecting heavily. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rejections here on SMCI that we have been respecting a lot. So with SMCI, I will be watching this at 840. As far as anything to the upside, we're really far away, so I'm really not too interested on that. But we currently have almost a double bottom around this 840 area. We can't get it close below there, so that'd probably be my area of entry. If we happen to come down on, let's say, Tuesday, if we happen to gap down and get close to this 840 area, that would probably be my entry. And then having the target of my first target would be 835, 830, and then 820 on SMCI. So those would be my target areas for SMCI, but that is a setup to the downside if this happens to come at any point this week. So that'll be something to look forward to on SMCI. So, and last but not least is a pretty unusual one for a lot of people who haven't been around in the channel, or I guess in the chat, is TSM. TSM has been on my radar recently. It is a pretty clean stock to trade with certain clean setups. I'm still kind of learning this stock. I'm still learning the ins and outs. But as far as TSM goes, I am watching the 161 setup. Realistically, my area would be around this 160 area into the 161 break, and then happen to see where it reacts from there. You can see the all-time high is actually at 163, but that happened pre-market. We actually haven't had any actual market open action above this 160.80, above this 161 area on TSM. So that'll be heavily on watch, but yeah, that is about it for the watch list, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, there was a lot to cover in the watch list. Hope I was able to squeeze it all for you guys. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's have a killer week, guys. So peace out.